Welcome back to Picture Healer channel. Today we want to talk about Feng Shui for T-Junction house, the dead end, and the cul-de-sac. Are they all bad Feng Shui? What is the reasoning behind, and what can we do to improve the Feng Shui? You probably heard of the Feng Shui for a dead end house or a T-Junction house because it's located at the end of the road. The Feng Shui is bad because the Qi doesn't flow. It's true to some degree, but it doesn't always mean it's bad Feng Shui. First, we look at the three different types of the house. The first one is a T-Junction. It's a classical bad Feng Shui because if your house is in front of a straight road, all the traffic can direct to your front door, and it creates Sha Qi, or the negative Qi, just like a knife pointing at your door. So that can affect your health, causing more accident and make your Qi unstable. And it can be in front of the T-junction or half of the T-junction. And the second type is a basic dead-end house with a road suddenly stopped in front of a house, and all the houses around it can be affected, especially the house that's directly facing the incoming road. And the third type is the cul-de-sac. That's very popular in America. And similar to the dead-end road, it's a street ending with a bigger circle surrounded by several houses. Both the dead-end and the cul-de-sac style of the house can have stagnant Qi, because the Qi flows in and stops there, so the Qi can be weakened, and it's also shared Qi. The same Qi can be shared by several houses, so each one gets less Qi. So that sounds like a negative Feng Shui, but not all the houses are created equal, and it's not always bad. First, we have to look at the size of the incoming traffic, the size of the road, and the length of the road, and the intensity, like how much traffic is on the road most of the time. If it's a residential area, the traffic might be slow and infrequent compared to a big road with a lot of traffic. The size and length of the road and the intensity of the traffic can reflect the Qi flow into your house. So that's one consideration. For residential area, we want the traffic to be a little bit slow and not like the rush hour traffic on the highway. And the size of the road should be wider and more open and not too narrow, so it can carry more Qi. Everything is about the balance. Depends on where you live. In the city or in the country, it should be proportional to your environment and not going too extreme. And the second consideration is the space in front of the house and also the space in between the house. In the city, it might be an apartment building with a lot of small units. Compared to the countryside, you might have a single house with a large backyard. The single house will have more Qi from the space compared to the city apartment. And even the single house, some might be close to each other, some might be farther apart. When you are more apart from your neighbor, you tend to have more Qi for your own house. And the third consideration is the location of your door and window. If the traffic goes directly into your entrance door or the big window, then you get affected more. Depends on what you see from your entrance or the window. You have different view and your Feng Shui will be different. And if your door is not directly facing the front but on the sides, you might have less impact from the Feng Shui of the incoming traffic. And another consideration is the overall landscape. Is there a mountain or water? Is one side higher or lower? They all affect the overall Feng Shui. the big picture of the feng shui might affect more than just the local cul-de-sac or the dead-end feng shui. So what can we do to improve the feng shui? For the T-Junction, there's a classical feng shui cure called the Shi Dang, or the stone cure. It can come in different forms. You can get one from special feng shui store. It just has a character Shi Dang carved or written on a piece of natural stone. Or you can find a stone and write the Shi Dang on top. The theory is that when you place a stone in front of your house, the stone can take all the negative energy for you instead of the house. That's one way to reduce the negative qi if you have a T-junction house. And another one is the bagua mirror. You can place it in front of the house because the mirror can reflect the energy to protect your house. For the dead end and cul-de-sac feng shui, you can slow down the qi or make the qi linger more around your house by planting in front of your house. Have some nice landscaping, beautiful flower, something to add one more layer between your house and the traffic, so it slows down the qi. And another way is to add a water feature in the front, because water can slow down the qi. So you can place a fountain or build a little fish pond in front of your house. And another way is to place some moving objects like garden sculpture or a wind chime. The music and the sound can attract energy. So the wind chime or the moving sculpture can attract good energy and let it stay in front of your house longer. Another way to counter the negative feng shui is to pay attention to the interior layout. Try to place your bedroom in the back side of your house so it's not directly facing the qi from the traffic. And you can rest better without being affected when you sleep on the back side of the house. So not all these three types of feng shui are bad. For the cul-de-sac and the dead end, it just means you share the energy with your neighbors, and it also means you share the luck. It can be less privacy and more gossip if that's your concern, but on the other side, you have closer connection to your neighbor, and that can be a positive side, especially if you are a social type of person. And it's also very good for school kids because you have a more private place with less traffic, so kids can play in the area without worry too much about traffic. Besides all the feng shui rules and theories, it really depends on how you feel when you walk into the space, because everybody is different. Not all the general feng shui rules applies to everybody. There's always exception. So you really have to be honest and listen to yourself too. If the energy feels right when you walk in the space, then that might be the best place for you. So don't be too concerned if everybody tell you it's bad feng shui. I think choosing your neighbor is probably more important than choosing the type of feng shui. Because if you have a good neighbor, you will enjoy living in a house much more than having a troublesome neighbor. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoy it and talk to you next time.